नई दिल्ली 22 मार्च 2025। ईशा फाउंडेशन के संस्थापक जग्गी वासुदेव द्वारा कथित यौन शोषण की शिकार महिलाओं ने साहस का परिचय देते हुए केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री श्री अमित शाह से तत्काल हस्तक्षेप की मांग की है। इन महिलाओं का कहना है कि आध्यात्मिक मार्गदर्शन की आड़ में उनके साथ छेड़छाड़ की गई और उनके साथ दुर्व्यवहार किया गया। उन्होंने न्यायालय की निगरानी में अपराधों की स्वतंत्र जांच की मांग की है। उनका दावा है कि न केवल उन्हें नजरअंदाज किया गया, बल्कि सत्ता और प्रभाव वाली प्रणालियों द्वारा सक्रिय रूप से उनका बचाव किया गया। उनकी अपील न्याय के लिए एक कानूनी पुकार और सम्मान के लिए एक गहरी व्यक्तिगत दलील दोनों है, क्योंकि वे गृह मंत्री से अपनी आखिरी उम्मीद के रूप में अपील करती हैं। दृढ़ निश्चयी है कि सत्य की जीत होनी चाहिए, चाहे आरोपी कितना भी शक्तिशाली क्यों न हो।
I admitted my son in Isha Home School. Isha Foundation has three types of schools. One is Isha Home School, Isha Sanskriti, and Isha Vidya School. So Isha Home School is from grade 1 to grade 13. It's an ICSE school and it's a residential school. So my son was admitted in the school from 6th grade until he graduated from senior high. And he was molested from 8th grade until 10th grade by a co-student. And every time he complained to the management, they would silence him. And that particular child also molested many other kids in the same school. So in 2019, when my son was giving his board exams, the other accused forced himself on my child and tried to rape him. Both of them were in different houses, but in the middle of the night, the other boy came and he tried to forcibly rape my child, to which my young son was very, very traumatized. And he would go and complain to the house parents and the principal. Instead of letting me deal with it, and they have never informed me in the first place. And later on, when my child wrote this email, they tried to just brush it off, saying that it's some boys' play. And my child repeatedly started writing mails saying that, no, it's not just a boys' play. He's trying to grope me for the last 3 years, and I have been informing them, but there is no action whatsoever. That is when I tried to reach the school. They would never ever give it in writing, or they would not return my emails as to how my child is doing or what about his safety. For the next 2 days, I had the most difficult 48 hours because they were not even allowing to talk to my son. And that is when I reached out to Sadhguru's office, where Swami Nakshatra, he takes care of Sadhguru's office. And through him, we tried to reach out to the school, and the school spoke to us. But it's a pattern with homeschool that we cannot talk on the mainline phone. We are always asked to talk on a WhatsApp call, and they never return our mails. So, we spoke to him, and, they said they're going to take some action. And they also informed Sadhguru about it. But, they have also promised that, please do not talk about this elsewhere, because it's a question of Hindutva. And, there are so many missionaries which are trying to convert Hindus into Christians and Islam. And if you speak about this, it's going to taint Sadhguru's image and Sadhguru's mission to uphold Hindutva. Although Sadhguru claims that he does not belong to any religion, it is very inconsistent, and most of his satsangs, he simply says that Hindutva has to be upheld at any cost. And That's how they convinced us not to go to the police. And they have also promised us that they're not going to bring back this accused next year. And my son already started his 11th grade. And after that, we took our son back to the school, and suddenly we found the accused, and he came back. My son was horrified, and he said, "I'm not going to be in this school because, they brought this child back." We were let down. We were completely let down and confronted the management, saying that, you promised us and you convinced us that, for the sake of Hindutva, we should not go to the police. And now you are bringing this child back. We do understand that he is also a child, and the management informed us that he has a gay orientation. I have no problem with whatever orientation he has. Just because you have a gay orientation does not give you a license to grope another child or another person. So this was my line of thought, and I was very vehement in my approach, and I insisted that I go to the police. And they said, Sadhguru does not, and now you say that he does not want to criminalize a child's behavior. But if it had to do something with the criminal behavior, what other way to approach this? And I was very, very keen on going to the police. And that is when I said, if not for Isha Foundation, I'm going to put a private complaint on the child that, this concerned person has done such a heinous assault on my child. So taking that into consideration, they have conveyed to the parents that, the mother is not ready to bow down. She either, she does not want to go back on her word, and she wants to go to the police. If it was on the foundation, we would have taken care of it now, but she wants to make it a private case. If not for the foundation, because my husband was blindly devoted to this man in many, many ways that I cannot provide any evidence, either money-wise or, he left his job to be with the organization full-time. And, he put the entire family into a certain situation where, we are compelled to be in the organization. So at that point of time, they have assured that they're going to take care of my child. And we took that as a positive, and we left our child because the other child left. So the accused left. So on their behest, they have also informed us that, I should apply for my younger child. My younger child was hardly 7 years old then, and they said it's Sadhguru's wish that both the boys be together in this very unique space, this energy space that is going to give them a wonderful life ahead. So we have applied for our minor child who was 7 years old at that point of time. We applied an application, and we have very sincerely written about our younger child who was born with a congenital heart. He was having some issues, and unfortunately, when I came into public, in 2024, 2022, my older son graduated from Isha Home School, and I took up being a teacher there. I became a volunteer teacher there. Why I became a volunteer teacher there? In 2019, right after 2019, my son was extremely traumatized, and he never showed any symptoms of trauma or depression or anxiety. He simply will be very calm, and he would not talk to people. He would become very introverted. So during COVID time, it was 2020 COVID time, I was cleaning up his room and found out something very disturbing in his notebook. He wrote that he wants to commit suicide, and there is no point in life after what has happened to me, happened to him at home school. And I repeatedly told so many Swamis that, he's going through this trauma, and probably, Sadhguru should let him do it, because we believed in him. And right after that, we were told that just leave him at his feet. He's taking care of them, energy-wise. And they also said that it was his past karma, that he is going through whatever he is going through. And Sadhguru has unleashed his bag of karma, and whatever he has to go through in 10 janmas, he's going through now. And we believed all this nonsense because his literature is all about pseudoscience, metaphysics, or whatever mystical things that he says. He calls it mysticism, but now I believe that it's only hypnotism. And taking that into account, I was not happy that my son was not getting any better. Although he wouldn't show the symptoms outside, but inside he was suffering silently. So, it was a great journey that we took towards spirituality, exploring our own Hinduism in a big way. We thought we found a guru, and taking that into confidence, we have invested 13 years of our life into this organization. So something struck me in 2022. My father passed away in 2020 with COVID. Something struck me that very deeply that, whatever path that we have taken, we have to rethink. My husband was not ready to accept anything except Sadhguru at that point of time. So there is no way that I could either convince him to be out of Isha or otherwise. And at that point of time, I have decided to find for myself, what happens in ashram, what are they up to, it's nothing like what it's shown on the TV and on the reels. So I was a volunteer teacher at home school. I taught 12th and 13th grades. I taught political science. Right thereafter, the minute I entered the school, I did realize that there was a lot of verbal abuse on girl children. There was a lot of mental torture that these children had to go through. And there were so many incidents that I might not speak of. I'm both a witness and a victim there. So, when these things were happening, I kind of brought it to their notice, saying that most of them are not within the limits of the law. And as any other school, we have to follow laws for the benefit of the children, for the very purpose of the foundation. So at that point of time in 2019, I thought it was an isolated case. Maybe they are not any of that kind. Probably this only happened to my child. But when I went to volunteer at ashram, I definitely saw that there are more and more cases of sexual abuse on women, on children, and and the boys as well. The boys were not exempted either. So after all my my own first witnessing to these things, I still have given the benefit of doubt to Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudeva that he is not informed of all these things. Until 2024 April, I have been under the impression that Jaggi Vasudeva does not know all these things. So there were many incidents of these abuses in the school, which I have written mails in the form of mails to Sadhguru's office, and none of them were answered. And finally, in 2024, I have written one final email saying that if you are not going to answer these questions, I seek his appointment so that I can tell first-hand account of what's going on in the school, how the teachers are threatened, how children are threatened, and how I was threatened on many occasions by the principal and the director of that school. So I have written him emails. None of the emails were written back. And on the last email, I have definitely told him that if you are not going to answer my questions in the ashram, I'm going to ask these questions from the public platform. Not because of what I have lost. My son's innocence is lost. My husband's innocence is lost. 13 years of our life went into this organization in vain. Not just because of that, but also the fact that Isha Foundation houses about 700 young children. 700 young children in different forms. One is a Gurukul school and the other is a ICSE school. So children might not know at that particular age what is going on there, or they might be blindly thinking that Sadhguru is a god. But as adults, we can definitely see the difference that not everything is as rosy as they show or as truthful as they portray it to be. So in this quest, my emails were not answered, and when I said that I'm going to ask these questions from the public platform, I was asked to come and sit down and talk. And I went back to the ashram in June after the break, and someone came from the office. They sat me down in the office and said, "This is not the way to ask questions. You cannot ask those questions. You have put the entire ashram at the gunpoint." That's what Jaggi Vasudev has told them. And also, he said that, I built this ashram in 40 years and you're trying to shake the foundations of the ashram. See, I do not have any such intentions of breaking his ashram or putting him in whatever spot he is. But my answers should be my questions should be answered, because my son's life was at stake, and so are many other children's lives. And the kind of system that they grow up is very closed. They are not allowed to talk to many people, and the very basic things that he talks about of inclusiveness and emotional bravery, the very things that he talks about is not what happens there. So in this context, when they, I came out of the ashram, and and just after that, a child lost his life. A 16-year-old child got electrocuted. These children, the 12th grade children, they were taken out on the yoga day for volunteering, and that during this process, the parental permission was not taken. And on the top of it, they took the children for a lunch break into a very dilapidated place. The child just touched the tap to wash his hands, and he got electrocuted and died at the spot. And they called it fate. Anything can happen anywhere. Yes, we agree. But the man did not have, Sadhguru did not have the decency to write a condolence message to the grieving mother. He did not have the decency to send somebody from the school and address the issue. He did not have the heart and the inclusiveness that he talks about to send his daughter to the grieving mother. Instead, they attended the biggest wedding in the country. They attended Ananta Bani's wedding. The daughter attended Ananta Bani's wedding. So this is one thing I was totally turned off. And what kind of a guru can do this? The mother sent a very heart-wrenching message into the parents group, saying that, the way the whole incident was handled. They gave 3 different press statements to 3 different newspapers, stating that he died in a restaurant in one newspaper, he died in a shopping mall in another newspaper, and he died in a water park in one newspaper, something like that. 3 different statements. That was absolutely not necessary. And on the top of it, how could you just pull a child without a parental consent, and that too for volunteering? He's an underage child, and that requires certain things to be put in place. There is no adult supervisor with these children. They were on their own. So all these things put together, there is a huge lapse on the government, on the management, and they were not able to handle these children, then they shouldn't be having that school. Having said that, I volunteered myself in this school, and the problem with this school is the volunteering system. First of all, the teachers are not qualified to teach these children in the ICSE, according to the ICSE board rules, or according to the education board rules of the center of the state, number 1. Number 2, these volunteers are in the school for 2 to 3 months, no background check done. They can come from any background. Police verification is not done as to who these people are. And if something happens to these children and they leave the place, where is the accountability? And most of them are from other countries. And we have heard of stories where, children were molested, children were groped, and they left the country. There is no accountability. So the whole system itself is maligned in many ways. So I have come out in the public. I was very outraged with the boy's death, and I came out in the public, and I spoke in a press conference from Hyderabad. And during this process, right after the process, I was targeted immensely. There was stone pelting on my house. My young child was targeted. My younger one was targeted. There were rape threats from unidentified people. I have approached the Andhra Pradesh police. Although they gave me a little bit of protection, they failed to take any action. Thereafter, I was targeted online. My father died in 2020 during COVID, and we had certain property issues with my brother. So they used a crack in my family fabric to target me. They got my brother to write a very maligning Twitter message saying that I'm mentally off and that my father and my mother-in-law, my father-in-law died because of me. My father died of COVID, my mother-in-law died of throat cancer, and my father-in-law died of severe pneumonia, all in their 70s. And I understand from where my brother is coming, but that's not the way, that's not the platform to talk about it. I never answered these X messages, but unfortunately that has severely disreputed my stand on Isha Foundation. So the first thing people would ask me is, your own brother has written this. I do understand that, but that's a family issue and it has to be talked in four walls of the house and not on the platform. And the second thing that they did was, there is one YouTuber by name String Vinod. He did an 8-minute footage on me and my children in his Twitter handle, which clearly, the application form that I have given for my son's admission in 2019 was published. And although the names of the children were not given, there is no way that String Vinod has gotten this application form after 5 years of our submission and revealing the facts of my children. My child is still a minor, my younger child is still a minor, he's 13 years old. And they have also, tried to bring it up in such a way that I'm anti-Hindutva, I'm anti-national, I'm a George Soros agent, and I'm a deep state. I do not understand how, a simple mother like me who tries to raise her voice can be labeled any which way they want to. And it's also very criminal of the foundation, the school, and the YouTuber who had his own intentions to malign me and taunt me and my children. So this has deeply infected my both children in a very big way. A POXO case was registered in Coimbatore thereafter, and the police have harassed me enough in Tamil Nadu also. I was asked to come thrice before an FIR was registered. I was summoned many times, and once the FIR was registered, I was informed to come and take the copy of the FIR because they cannot give it online. It's a POXO case. And when I went to Tamil Nadu Police, at all women's payroll police station in Coimbatore, they refused to give me a copy of the FIR. I think at least as a citizen of this country, I am entitled to the copy of an FIR. And they simply said it's a POXO case. It does not matter whether it's a POXO case or it's a criminal case. I am not a criminal myself and I am the victim and they are supposed to give me a copy of it, which they never did. And they sent me a court summons to bring my son at 11 p.m. in the night and asked me to be present by noon the next day. I live almost 1200 kilometers away from Coimbatore. I need to take two flights to go to Coimbatore, and it will take me at least one day to just reach Coimbatore. And I do not understand how the police would think that I will be present there but in 10 hours of information. I have asked them on many occasions, like why I am not given a copy of the FIR. They would simply not answer any questions regarding that. And thereafter, I've tried to approach many people to look into the matter, both in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. But the pace of this case is like a snail's pace, and most often we are ignored. They do not want to answer us. And on the day when they have taken my statement, my son's statement, as to writing the incident reports and stuff like that, they said we are going to register an FIR on Jan 4th itself. But they simply said that this man has bigger connections and nothing can be done against Isha Foundation, even legally. Even if I had enough evidence to prove that, I have a lot of emails, exchanges between me and the school, even despite of their, email, agreeing to the fact that these incidents have happened. No action has been taken against the principal of the school, the general coordinator of the school, and anybody regarding this case. And if I had, a lot of persuasion that I will not be able to come again to take the FIR, they just took me inside. The police took me inside. They confiscated my mobile phone. They lashed me up. They lashed the door up. And then they said, okay, because you are insisting so much, we can show you the FIR, but we cannot give you the FIR. And they would not give me the number of the FIR. And what I saw in the FIR was Prakash Somiyaji, the principal of the Isha Home School, the GC Swami Vibhu, and two more wardens have been, an FIR has been registered against them, along with the main accused, who is also a minor at that point of time. So, all I'm saying is, my children have been targeted right after this. We've been taunted, especially online. Isha Foundation has a wing called Digital Veeras. Every time in his satsangs, he says like, these are anti-Hindus, they are anti-nationals, and we are like dogs barking. He says it's the nature of the dogs to bark. So I would like to take this platform to tell Mr. Jaggi Vasudev that please don't underestimate the dogs. Dogs simply don't bark. And if you have had a pet, you would have realized by now that they're either trying to warn you that something is around, be careful, or they're trying to protect you. They are not as bad as you have said. And please do not equate victims to dogs. In one of his satsang, he explained to his meditators that, there are some political parties which are asking us to do this. We are not affiliated to any political party. None of the politicians have ever reached us. And I wonder that, despite of so many things happening, there is no outrage from the Human Rights Commission. There is no outrage from Women's Rights Commission. There is no witness protection to us. There is no any sort of support either from the state or the central government. And on the day of my summons, inspector there, I do not want to reveal his name because he could be targeted too. So he simply said that, you could look at this picture who is behind. So there are very, very big people who support him. Probably we are not that big enough to, even raise our voice. But if this gets unchecked, this is a democratic country and this is not a plutocracy, I believe. So I have taken this courage from the beginning that, our children should just get justice, number one. Number two, no child should fall into this trap. There are many, many young children who, in the name of volunteering at this place, they get trapped into that ashram and they never come back. There are so many horrible stories that you hear, and most of the parents do call us at times like, is there any way to bring this child back? We have taken loans to, give them good education, but it never, they never come back. So, yeah, we are here to seek justice.
I think now the question answers any questions you have.
What sort of political crowd
We see a lot of, we see a lot of politicians coming to the ashram from many parties. They are from the ruling party, they are from the opposition party. There are many ministers who come and I'm sure that you all must be seeing the kind of, the politicians that dance at the Mahashivratri event. So that is not something that is, it's out in public there. He always flaunts his political connections, his bureaucratic connections, and his judiciary connections at every juncture of, his events, just to keep us in place, just to keep any volunteer, anybody who wants to take him down at his, in their place.
Sexual harassment cases, and also could you explain a little bit of the nature of these sexual harassment cases, not necessarily the details, but the nature, because you just mentioned sexual harassment.
So there was a rape of an 8-year-old girl there. There are molestations. I've also heard of some girls being raped by the Swamis themselves. So it's not new to Isha Foundation at all. And groping is a very normal thing. And most of my friends or their own friends, they have told me on many occasions that ashram is not a place to be.
Can you tell us who the person was?
So we cannot tell the person because they have told us in faith and in anonymity. Sorry?
Did you register any FIR?
Who is having?
Did you register any FIR from there?
Sir, in my own son's case, an FIR is filed. It's a POXO case.
Can you have the
Copy of it. They will never give us a copy of it, but yes, there is evidence to show that an FIR is registered. They have sent me a mail, and I also cannot give a copy of the FIR because it's a POXO case.
It's not for public.
It's not for the public.
at least can you tell me?
13 years with Isha Foundation. When was the last time you actually met with and what was the conversation like?
See, he came to Pushkaram, to Rajahmundry. I'm from Rajahmundry. So he came to Pushkaram in 2016, Godavari Pushkaram, and he met us, and we hosted him. But that day he was the state guest, and I brought him food. And right after the food, he would just bless us and initiate us into something that we did not know. He called us undercover yogis, and there are certain things that can be done by us, and we will know it in future. So that was one conversation I had personally. And apart from that, on and off, he looks at us, he glances at us and says, I do not have to talk to you, but I can get things done by you. So it's always like, brainwashing you that it's not necessarily to talk to him, but we are involved ourselves in every which way possible with the organization.
Why it has taken 13 years to learn, and why not withdraw from the very first year your children and yourself from the Isha Foundation?
Sir, when the first year when my child was a little withdrawn, I thought it's because he's been with the parents and not, he's been with the parents for so long. And then there is a shift of him being at home and to the residential school. So I've been always thinking that Sadhguru is right, and probably, he's molding the child in a certain way that, he always tells us that you have to be calm, you have to be quiet, you do not gone into our minds in a very, and it made a huge impact that we were brainwashed to think that Everything that happens in that ashram is for a good reason, as I said before too.
So you are actually brainwashed by the foundation.
Yes, sir.
So why did you go to the counselor for counseling yourself? You could have counseled, when you are in trauma or you are in...
Sir, we have realized only in 2024 that we have been brainwashed after so many years. And we came out and we did what is needed for ourselves and for the family. But we are also coming out after a long time only to educate people that please do not go to this ashram, there is no necessity, and once you are gone, you are trapped. That is the reason, sir.
What is your next line of action?
Sir, we have already initiated the line of action in a legal way. We want to get justice for our children. We want both Andhra Pradesh police and Tamil Nadu police to take a more impactful action against the perpetrators for both data breach of my minor child and the POCSO case of my older child.
जो बहुत ही घनिष्ठ मित्रों में से जग्गी वासुदेव जी थे, मैं उन्हें सदगुरु नहीं कहूँगी क्योंकि वो ये जो शब्द है सदगुरु खो चुके हैं। मेरे पास एविडेंसेस हैं, हार्डकोर एविडेंसेस, जो मुझे लगता है। और अपनी बच्ची के रेप के बारे में कोई भी बात नहीं करना चाहूँगी क्योंकि केस जो है पॉस्को का है और भी सब जुडिशरी है, तो मैं उसके बारे में मुझे सख्त हिदायत दी गई है कि किसी तरह का भी कन्वर्सेशन ना हो। लेकिन हाँ, मैं अपना जो भी मेरी कहानी है, जिस तरह से भी हम लोग प्रताड़ित हुए हैं, वो मैं आपको अपने एविडेंस से शुरू करना चाहती हूँ। तो ये एविडेंस जो है बड़े ही रिलायबल रिसोर्स से हमें मिला है और आप एक बार सुन लीजिए, फिर उसके बाद हम आगे मैं अपनी कहानी शुरू करूँगी संक्षिप्त में।
Listen, no. Listen, he was removing the shirt of these young girls for initiating them. They are sent to this room, the shrine, without the shirts. All these girls are from somewhere from 13 to 16, 17. The Samskruti girls, and he initiates them without the shirts. So that we have sort of an email. Because the minute I came to know of it again through this, two ladies who have left red saris, and then this girl, one of the girls shared somewhere that she felt very uncomfortable because he sort of rubs them on the spine, and they are asked to go into the room without the bare chested, and these are all growing up girls, they'll be very, very conscious. And also he rubs his heel on below the navel. My name is
धीरे धीरे हम उनके एक जो उनका एक ट्रैक सिस्टम है, बिजनेस सिस्टम है कि एक बार तुम उसमें चले जाओ तो फिर वो धीरे धीरे उसमें, और मेरा ये है कि योगा और मेडिटेशन अपने आप में बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ें वो सिखाते हैं, उसमें कोई गलत नहीं है, लेकिन जो उन्होंने उसको एज ए बिजनेस मॉडल बना रखा है और जिस तरह से वो औरतों का शोषण करते हैं वहाँ, वो चीज़ गलत है। तो हम लोगों को अभय और लड़कियों को साथ में रजनीकांत के गानों में नाच नचवाते हैं और एक अलग तरह का ही एक हिप्नोटिक माहौल रहता है उसमें। सब कोई लोग एक दूसरे को जाके जोर से पकड़ रहे हैं, कई तरह की ग्रुपिंग हुई है, सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट हुए हैं। वो $1000 से भी कम में पर एकड़ खरीदते हैं और उसको हाफ एकड़ में वो 40 से 60,000 के करीबन लोकेशन के हिसाब से, और 80 से $120,000 के करीबन वो 1 एकड़ को बेचते हैं। वो 1 एकड़ वो सिर्फ $1000 में खरीदते हैं। तो आप देख लीजिए कि उनका प्रॉफिट मार्जिन कितना है। जहाँ तक जो शोषण है लोगों का एज अ वॉलंटियर के रूप में, वो शोषण इस तरह से करते हैं कि उनसे फ्री में काम कराते हैं, इसलिए उनका दूसरा प्रॉफिट मार्जिन तो वहीं बन जाता है। क्योंकि इतने बड़े बड़े साइंटिस्ट हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े डॉक्टर हैं, वो इतना ज़्यादा हिप्नोटाइज करते हैं, इतना ज़्यादा हिप्नोटाइज करते हैं कि वो अपने उंगलियों से और कहेंगे कि आप अपना मास्क उतारो और फिर वो पता नहीं क्या करते हैं कि यू डोंट नो कि क्या हो रहा है। तो एनीवे उनके जो प्रोग्राम्स है उसमें हिप्नोटिक है। आज ही मैं बल्कि एक सदगुरु ट्रुथ करके है पढ़ रही थी, उसमें वो कह रहा था एक मंक उसमें कि मैं वहाँ गया था तो हमसे ये कहा गया कि सदगुरु का मांस खाइए। मेडिटेशन में सदगुरु अपना मांस खाने को कह रहे थे और इस तरह से तुम और सदगुरु एक हो गए। तो ये क्या है, तांत्रिक नहीं समझ में आता। और ये जो आपने कैलाश वीडियो देखे हैं भारती के साथ, क्या ये सब तंत्र नहीं है? और जो ये इनिशिएशन कर रहे हैं, क्या ये आपको तांत्रिक नहीं लगता नेचर में? मतलब लोग देख कर भी आंखें मूंद रहे हैं। हम लोगों को इतना बुलीट किया गया। जब इन चीज़ों को हम लोग बाहर लेकर आए, हमने बहुत हिम्मत करी है इन चीज़ों को बाहर लाने में। अपनी फैमिली को हमने दाव में लगा दिया है, उनकी जान को दाव में लगा दिया है। मेरे हस्बैंड जो हैं वो इतने डिप्रेशन में हैं और इतना वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं डिप्रेशन से बाहर आने की। जैसे आपने कहा था कि आपने क्या किया ना, हम थेरेपी ले रहे हैं, हम सब तरह की थेरेपी ले रहे हैं। हमारा बच्चा थेरेपी ले रहा है, अमेरिका में तो थेरेपी देते हैं, डिकल्ट करा रहे हैं। और उस थेरेपी के बाद हमें ये पता चल गया हाँ ये जो आदमी है पक्का फ्रॉड है, ये खाली धर्म के नाम पे ये योगा के नाम के लोगों का पैसा लूट रहा करता है। वो लड़कियों के प्राइवेट पार्ट में रखता है, वो जिस अंगूठे को, अपनी अंगूठे को, पाँव के अंगूठे को, उसी को वो बेचता है 3000 रुपये में, उसको फ्रेम लगा के। तो मैंने बहुत हिम्मत करी है। मैं कभी नहीं आना चाहती थी मीडिया में, कभी नहीं चाहती थी कि मैं अपनी कहानी लोगों को बताऊं, लेकिन उसने मुझे विवश कर दिया। और आज मैं वो बताने जा रही हूँ जो बहुत ही भद्दा है, डार्क है, और एक औरत के लिए इस चीज़ को कहना बहुत मुश्किल है। लेकिन ये मैं अपनी ही कहानी नहीं कह रही हूँ, मेरी जैसी कम से कम 50 से 60 औरतें हैं जिनसे मैंने ये बात करी है और जिनकी कहानियाँ मेरी कहानी से बहुत सिमिलर करती हैं। तो हमारे रिलेशनशिप में जब हम मैकमिलर में गए थे तो हमारा जो हस्बैंड वाइफ का रिलेशन था वो थोड़ा सा उसमें खटास आने लगी थी, क्योंकि जग्गी वासुदेव ने मेरे हस्बैंड को बाइक से एक कोने में वहाँ पे एक सनसेट पॉइंट पे है, वहाँ पे ले जाके कहा कि तुम्हें फुल टाइम वॉलेंटियर करना पड़ेगा। और उन्हीं के एक पीए हैं, उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया एक दिन और उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि सदगुरु कह रहे हैं कि तुम्हें पॉसिबिलिटी दिखती है मुझे, निर्वाण की प्राप्ति की पॉसिबिलिटी। और ये शायद उन्होंने 1000 सुंदर लड़कियों से कहा है, और जो पैसे वाली लड़कियां उनसे कहा है कि तुम जो पॉसिबिलिटी है तुम्हें, अब वो पॉसिबिलिटी क्या है वो तो वही जाने। आज भी मैं उस अंकल से पूछती हूँ कि भाई बता दो भाई पॉसिबिलिटी क्या, अभी तक तो हमें पता नहीं चला कि वो हमने ऐसा कोई निर्वाण तो प्राप्त किया नहीं है अभी तक। और उसके बाद उन्होंने मेरे हस्बैंड से कहा कि तुम लोग जो है हमारे जो ये हैं ग्रह हैं वो शादी के इसमें नहीं है, क्योंकि हम वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा प्रॉपर्टी हमारे पास थी, हमने खरीदी थी पूरी प्रॉपर्टी आसपास के एरिया में, हमारे पास घर था उनके आश्रम से एसोसिएटेड। तो वो चाहते थे कि कैसे इन चीज़ों को तो उन्होंने मेरे हस्बैंड को मुझसे दूर करना शुरू कर दिया, जिसका मैं थोड़ा बहुत तो समझ गई थी कि उनका इंटेंशन क्या है। तो मैंने उनसे कहा अपने हस्बैंड से कि मत लो डाइवोर्स, हम डाइवोर्स नहीं लेते हैं, वो रास्ता नहीं है, देखते हैं क्या करते हैं। अगर आप ईशा में जाएंगे तो 90% जो लोग हैं वो ईशा में आके डाइवोर्स ले लेते हैं, हस्बैंड वाइफ, जो फेमस है उसके लिए। मतलब अमेरिका में इतने पढ़े लिखे डॉक्टर्स हैं, इंजीनियर्स हैं, वो भी ग्रेट डाइवोर्स जिसको कहते हैं अधेड़ उम्र में डाइवोर्स लेना, वो हो रहा है वहाँ। कैसे उन लोगों से उनका पैसा खींचा जाए। तो यही उन्होंने कहा कि डाइवोर्स ले लो, और मुझसे कहा कि देखो तुम तो एक बार विडो हो चुकी हो, तुम्हें दोबारा विडो होना है क्या? तुम्हारा हस्बैंड 1 साल में मर जाएगा, उसकी डेथ हो जाएगी। मैंने कहा ठीक है, अगर मैं नहीं चाहती हूँ कि मेरे हस्बैंड की डेथ हो, इससे अच्छा तो डाइवोर्स ही है, कम से कम वो बच्चा तो रहेगा, बच्चों का बाप तो रहेगा। तो वी एग्री टू सम एक्सटेंट, चलो डाइवोर्स ले लेते हैं। और वहाँ पे क्या है, डाइवोर्स में मेरा काम था, मुझे अपने बच्चों को प्रोटेक्ट करना था। तो मैंने उनके अगेंस्ट रिस्ट्रेनिंग ऑर्डर लिया, ताकि रिस्ट्रेनिंग ऑर्डर लिया ताकि जो है मेरे बच्चों को उनका पूरा फायदा मिले। डिवोर्स में क्या है, मेन चीज़ यही होता है कि कैसे हम फाइनेंशियली एक दूसरे को, अपने बच्चों को प्रोटेक्ट कर सकें। बच्चों को मैंने मांग करी और बाकी मांग करी। तो ये लोग हमें एक तरह से ग्रूमिंग करना शुरू कर दिया था इन लोगों ने। तो मुझसे कहा गया कि सदगुरु जो है तुम्हें जाकर उनको सेवा करनी है, उनके लिए खाना पकाना है, वो फ्रेश सांभर का मसाला पसंद करते हैं। तो उसकी ट्रेनिंग शुरू करी गई। संथिल करियप्पन की जो वाइफ है उनको ये दिया गया, जो पिंप का काम करती है, वो वहाँ औरतों को सिखाती हैं कि कैसे सदगुरु की सेवा की जाए, और बहुत ही सीक्रेट तरीके से उनके घरों में उनको भिजवाया जाता है। लेकिन उस वक्त तक मैं समझ चुकी थी सदगुरु को। और अगर आप टाइमलाइन देखेंगे तो आश्रम को लग रहा था कि ये लोग ये जो है अभी हमें समझ नहीं रहे हैं, और ये हमारे हिसाब से अपना काम कर रहे हैं। दोनों हस्बैंड वाइफ ये डिवोर्स ले रहे हैं। और इससे पहले की बात मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ, 2012 में मेरे हस्बैंड के जो छोटे भाई थे, 2010 के करीबन का स्वर्गवास हो गया। तो उनका स्वर्गवास, वो 27 साल के लिए बहुत सुंदर लड़का था, 6 फुट का। और हुआ कैसे कि वो अमावस्या की रात को शून्य क्रिया कर रहा था। शून्य मेडिटेशन के बाद उसका जो है ब्रेन में वो हो गया, ब्लड हेमरेज, ब्रेन हेमरेज, और वो ऑन द स्पॉट उनकी डेथ हो गई। उसमें भी जगी द्वारा यही कहा गया कि उसको निर्वाण की प्राप्ति हो गई है। क्या उनका योगा सही है? क्या उनका योगा वेरीफाइड करता है कि वो हेल्थ के रीजन से सही है? दूसरी चीज़ ये हुई, मेरे हस्बैंड थोड़ा डिस्टर्ब हो गए थे अपने छोटे भाई के जाने में, तो वो घर छोड़ के चले गए कुछ समय के लिए। तो मैं बहुत डिप्रेशन में चली गई थी उस वक्त। सन 2012 में मैं उनके आश्रम में गई, और आश्रम में जाकर मैं बहुत डिप्रेस थी। तो मैंने अपनी फिर द्वारा खुद किया गया कई बार। इस लड़की का यौन शोषण जो है, ये गुजरात की लड़की है, बहुत इलाइट फैमिली की, और उसके जो पेरेंट्स हैं उनके नाम से ईशा मैकमिलर की प्रॉपर्टी भी ली गई है। ये लड़की को इतना ग्रूम किया गया कि उससे भी यही कहा गया कि पॉसिबिलिटी है तुम्हारे पास, तुम आओ। उसके पेरेंट्स उसको खुद इंडिया छोड़ के आए। यहाँ जगी वासुदेव ने उसका यौन शोषण किया, उसके बाद उसको पकड़ा दिया अपने मंक्स के पास। अब इनका जो आश्रम है, मंक जो है, ये चलता है ओशो की थीम पे। ओशो का था ओपन सेक्स का, तो इनका भी यही है कि भाई ये जो संबंध है, शारीरिक संबंध, इनको शादी के उसमें नहीं डालना चाहिए, इट शुड बी ओपन। लेकिन दैट्स द रीजन ही कॉल्स इट अंडरकवर योगी, क्योंकि ये सारी इस तरह के जितने भी क्राइम्स हैं ये अंडरकवर ही होते हैं वहाँ, और उन्होंने नाम भी बहुत अच्छा रखा है, अंडरकवर योगी। और उसके बाद वो लड़की का कई सालों तक यौन शोषण जो है, एक उसी के टीचर जो उससे हाई एंड में था, हायरार्की में हटाई, वो टीचर ने उसका किया। इतना ब्रूटल था कि एक बार उसको एडमिट होना पड़ा हॉस्पिटल में। आज वो लड़की की हालत ये है कि वो छुपी हुई है, पिछले 2 साल से वो छुपी हुई है। उसकी शादी हो चुकी है, उसका हस्बैंड उसे प्रोटेक्ट कर रहा है, और उसको इंजेक्शंस लगाए जाते थे कि वो डिप्रेशन में डालने के लिए उस लड़की को। और वो बिल्कुल अंडरग्राउंड है, क्योंकि उन्हें खतरा है कि अगर वो आएंगे सामने तो उसे मार दिया जाएगा। अगर आपने स्कोफिल्ड की कहानी पढ़ी है तो कई मौतें इस तरह की हुई हैं जिनका कोई लेखा जोखा नहीं है ईशा में। वहाँ कई तरह के क्रीमेटोरियम्स हैं जहाँ लोगों को भस्म कर दिया जाता है, उनका पता भी नहीं चलता, जैसा उन्होंने अपनी खुद की वाइफ के साथ किया। भारती मेरी बहुत घनिष्ठ मित्र है, हम लोग मिले थे यूएस में एक बार, और उन्होंने मुझे सारी उनकी बातें बताई कि किस तरह से उन्होंने अपनी लगता है कि उसकी हत्या की गई, नेचुरल डेथ दी थी, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमसे हमेशा यही कहा गया कि उन्होंने महासमाधि ली है, लेकिन महासमाधि में जलाते कहाँ हैं? महासमाधि में तो जिंदा इंसान को डालते हैं, गाड़ते हैं। और उनके घर वालों का भी यही कहना था, हमारे पहुँचने तक तो उन्होंने भस्म कर दिया बीवी को। उन्होंने तो सारे एविडेंस वहीं खत्म कर दिए। शर्म इस बात की आती है कि इस कंट्री में ऐसा होने पे इंसान कुछ भी कर सकता है, वो मार सकता है, वो हर तरह के अपराध कर सकता है, और उसको क्वेश्चन नहीं करते हैं लोग विक्टिम्स के पीछे भागते हैं। तो जब मैं आश्रम में गई और मैं डिप्रेस मूड में थी तो मुझसे कहा गया, क्योंकि ये जो लेडी थी बड़ी करीबी रही है जगी के, उन्होंने मुझसे कहा कि सदगुरु जो है वहाँ पे भावस स्पंदना का प्रोग्राम हो रहा था, तो सारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो महिमा एक हॉल है उसमें सोते हैं, तो जहाँ उनका लगेज रखा जाता है उससे एक जो बिल्डिंग है और उसमें बेड्स भी लगे रहते हैं, वो सेपरेट है। वहाँ पे सिर्फ लगेज रख के और नहाने धोने के लिए आते हैं पार्टिसिपेंट, उसके बाद सीधे जो है चले जाते हैं महिमा हॉल में सोने को। जब मैं भावस स्पंदना प्रोग्राम में गई तो वहाँ पे एक लॉन्ड्री रूम है, वो अटैच्ड है इस बिल्डिंग के साथ, और मुझे कहा गया कि रात के 12:30 बजे तुम्हें आना है, तुम्हें यू हैव टू टेक अ शावर, और शावर करके एक रेड कलर की साड़ी पहननी है। सदगुरु कुछ ऐसा करेंगे कि जिससे जो तुम्हारा डिप्रेशन है वो चला जाए। जबकि हमेशा कहते थे कि जो डिप्रेशन है वो अच्छा नहीं है बॉडी के लिए, तो इसको तुम्हारे शरीर से हटाना बहुत जरूरी है, इस डिप्रेशन को। आई बिलीव उस पर हमने कहा भगवान मानते थे, पिता मानते थे, हमने बात सुन ली उनकी। जब मैं उस कमरे में गई तो वहाँ पे एक छोटा सा कॉपर का कप था और उसमें कुछ तीर्थ करके कुछ रखा हुआ था और दिया जल रहा था, अगरबत्ती की हेवी सेंस था कमरे में। हाँ, देखिए ऐसा है ना, आज तक मेरी ये जो कहानी है बहुत आसान नहीं है, और आज तक सिर्फ मैं ही एक ऐसी हूँ जो मीडिया में आके बोल रही हूँ, और मैं इसलिए बोल रही हूँ, दिस इज नॉट माई वॉइस, इट्स द वॉइस ऑफ मेनी मोर वुमेन हु वांट्स टू टेक मी। मैं माध्यम हूँ उनकी।
And future families. So the government of India and the union, which is supporting such groups in the name of God, she's bringing it out. They both have sacrificed their lives and their children, and I think the press should show more humane and patience. Okay, thank you.
जो तीर्थ था वो पीने को कहा, उसके बाद उन्होंने मुझे लेटने को कहा और उन्होंने मेरे नाभि में अपनी उंगलियों से कुछ तरह का तंत्र या मंत्र करना शुरू किया। उसके बाद का रिकलेक्शन मुझे बहुत हल्का फुल्का है। वो एक लाल रंग का जो धागा था वो बांध रहे थे, उसका एक त्रिकोणाकार बना रहे थे। आज जब मैं इसको देखती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत कुछ इल्यूमिनाटी से मिलता जुलता था वो जो भी प्रोसेस था। बहुत ज़्यादा मुझे क्लियर याद नहीं है क्योंकि घटना 2012 की है और मैं हेलुसिनेट किया था मैंने। उसके बाद वो जो भी उन्होंने मुझे तीर्थ दिया था उसके बाद मैं हेलुसिनेशन स्टेज में थी। उसके बाद मुझे जब मुझे अवेकनेस आई कि मैं पूरी तरह से मेरी आँख खुली तो मैंने अपने आप को वही जो बगल में कमरा था, ये लॉन्ड्री रूम के ऊपर का कमरा है जो उनका एक मेडिटेशन रूम भी माना जाता है, वहाँ पे जहाँ बक्से पड़े थे उसके बगल के कमरे में बेड में मैंने अपने आप को पाया। आई कैन क्लियरली सी दैट माय बॉडी वाज गॉट वायलेटेड। When a woman gets raped, she can say that she has raped.
Under sedation.
And that's my story. बहुत शर्मनाक है। मुझे बहुत मना किया गया बहुत लोगों से कि मत लाना सामने, औरत की उसका सवाल है, लेकिन I made that attempt just to bring justice to many women like me. बहुत औरतें हैं जिनके साथ यौन शोषण किया गया है, बहुत दर्दी हैं, और ज़्यादातर जो औरतें हैं वो लेबनान प्रांत की हैं। लेबनीज वुमेन्स का तो उनको तो एज अ स्लेव वो ट्रीट करते हैं। वो उनके मुंह से थूक निकलता है, वो पोंछते हैं। और जिस तरह से एक स्लेव को ट्रेन किया जाता है, वैसे अगर वो इन लेबनीज वुमेन से ये कहेंगे कि जाके इसको नीता को जाके अभी मार दो, तो वो मार भी देंगे।
Can I just say that last two questions or just last one?
सबसे पहले मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहती हूँ कि अगर आप विक्टिम हैं ईशा के और ये कॉज है हम लोगों के लिए, प्लीज़ हमारी हेल्प करिए। आपकी जो भी कहानी है, हम आपको लीगल हेल्प भी प्रोवाइड कराएंगे और हमें भी लीगल हेल्प चाहिए। जिस तरह से भी आप हमारी हेल्प करना चाहते हैं, हमें isha@gmail.com में मेल करिए, हमें isha@proton.me में मेल करिए, या हमें isha@tutamail.com में प्लीज़ आप ले लीजिएगा ये ईमेल आईडी, डिस्कस कर दीजिएगा अपने, अगर आप इसको भेजेंगे सबके लिए, ताकि हम चाहते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा विक्टिम सामने आए, कोशिश करें। मैं हूँ आप लोगों के साथ, मैं आ गई हूँ, देखो, और इट वॉज वेरी स्मूथ, इट वॉज नॉट दैट हार्ड फॉर मी टू हैव द ट्रूथ, एंड ट्रूथ प्रिवेल्स।